You know, when a big company makes a big hire, it's so easy to just scroll past it, like it's another headline. But in an industry like real estate, these moves are way more than just news. They're signals. They're like pages torn from a future playbook. So today, we're going to decode what 3 recent, really high-level hires tell us about where the real estate world is placing its bets for the future. So let me ask you this. How do you really predict where an entire industry is headed? I mean, sure, you can look at market data, sales trends, and that's all fine, but there's a much more direct and, frankly, more interesting way to get a sneak peek.
You watch its leaders. You watch who they hire, who they promote, and most importantly, what they task those people to do. See, a new leader isn't just a new name on a door. They are the living, breathing embodiment of a brand new strategy. All right, first up, let's talk about 2 of the biggest names in the brokerage game, Douglas Elliman and Brown Harris Stevens. Now, these are legacy firms, giants of the industry. But in a market that's, let's be honest, kind of tough and uncertain, their recent moves show they are getting ready for what's next in 2 completely different ways. And this is where it gets really interesting. Both companies just brought in a new chief strategy officer. Sounds similar, right? But that is literally where the similarities end. The people they chose and the jobs they gave them point in completely opposite directions.
And here it is, the 2 playbooks laid bare. On one side, you have Douglas Elliman bringing in an outside veteran, Wendy Purvey, and her mission is all about aggressive growth. On the other side, Brown Harris Stevens promotes a rising star from within, Christopher Halstead, and tells him to focus on making the company itself run perfectly. One is looking out, the other is looking in.
Let's dig into Elliman's choice for a second. Wendy Purvey is an absolute heavyweight. We're talking over 3 decades of experience here. She was the chief marketing officer at Sotheby's International Realty for 12 years and even ran one of its biggest franchises. You just don't hire someone with this kind of resume unless you are planning something big.
And yup, her to-do list confirms it. She's in charge of driving mergers and acquisitions, growing those extra services like mortgage and title, and, this is the kicker, leading a totally new international expansion. This is not about just tuning up the engine. This is about bolting on a turbocharger and hitting the global racetrack.
And hey, you don't even have to take my word for it. The CEO's own words tell the story. The key words there, growth and innovation. Elliman is clearly betting that in a market that's shrinking and consolidating, the best defense is a really, really powerful offense.
Okay, now let's flip the coin and look at Brown Harris Stevens' play. They promoted Christopher Halstead. He's a total insider. He's been with the company for over 15 years, starting as an agent and working his way all the way up. He knows this company inside and out.
And his mission could not be more different from Purvey's. He's not chasing acquisitions or planting flags overseas. His job is to streamline operations, to make the incredible machine they already have run better, faster, and just more efficiently.
And this quote just perfectly highlights the contrast. Listen to the language from the BHS CEO. Strengthen our operations and long-term success. It's a strategy that's all about fortification. It's about building an unshakable foundation that can weather any storm the market throws at it.
But hold on, it's not just the giants that are making these big strategic moves. While they're sharpening their swords, a brand new challenger is busy forging one for the very first time. Let's talk about the American Real Estate Association.
So who is the American RIA? Well, it actually grew out of something called the NAR Accountability Project, which, as the name suggests, was formed because of some big issues at the National Association of Realtors. Now, they're positioning themselves as a fresh, modern alternative for real estate pros. And honestly, their momentum has been pretty wild. In just a couple of years, they've gone from what was basically a protest group to launching a full-on paid membership program. And now, they've made a huge move to get properly organized.
They just hired their first ever executive director. Now this is a massive step. This is the moment a volunteer movement puts on a business suit and becomes a professional organization, a real player.
And their pick for the job, Mary Frances Coleman, is another huge signal. She's not just some organizer, she's an industry veteran who's done it all. She's been an agent, an attorney, and a C-suite leader at major firms like eXp Realty. This is someone who knows how to build and how to scale.
This quote from co-founder Jason Haber just hits the nail on the head. This hire marks their official transition into a staffed nonprofit with real infrastructure. They are no longer just an idea. They are becoming an institution, and they're getting ready to compete.
So when we put all these different puzzle pieces together, what do we get? What are these real estate tea leaves actually telling us about what's coming next?
All right, let's break down the playbooks one last time. You've got Douglas Elliman going on total offense, betting everything on aggressive expansion. You've got Brown Harris Stevens playing defense, fortifying its core business. And then you have the American REA going from a grassroots idea to building a formal institution, ready to challenge the old guard.
What this all paints a picture of is an industry at a really fascinating crossroads. The big, established players, they're not just sitting back. They're doubling down on what they think will secure their future. And, at the exact same time, a new force is methodically building its foundation to offer a real alternative. So, that leaves us with the billion-dollar question, doesn't it? Will the future of real estate be defined by aggressive growth, by fortress-like efficiency, or by a fundamental disruption of the way things have always been done? The playbooks are open. What happens next is anybody's guess.